Hey everybody, Adam here with Hometown Acres. Welcome back. First thing I want to do to this building before we start moving in is I want to get some lights hung in here. And the lights we're going to be hanging up here are going to be these JC-LGL lighting company 100 watt UFO LED high bay lights. And we have 16 of them. So we're going to have 8 in here inside the building. We're going to have 4 out underneath the porch area up here. And then we're gonna have 4 out under the lean-to. So we're gonna have lighting underneath the entire building. Those high bay lights, this thing's gonna be lit up like a spaceship out here. It's gonna be extremely bright. And that's the goal, is I wanna have plenty of lighting out here because a lot of what I do is filming. And for filming, you need good lighting. All of the wiring we're gonna be doing here today, there's gonna be no chance of getting electrocuted while I'm doing any of this wiring myself. But my thought process is, these are all LEDs. They only pull 100 watts per light. Since we are gonna be running off of a battery pack, I wanna separate them into 4 separate switches. So the lean-to out there, the 4 lights out there are gonna be on one switch. The covered porch with the sawmill area is gonna be one switch. And then I will have 4 lights here and 4 lights over there on one switch. That way I can control how much power. If I had everything just powered onto one switch with 16 lights, I'd be using 1600 watts, which would drain the battery much faster than if I'm just working out on the sawmill area and I only need 400 watts out there. So that's the plan. Got to get started hanging lights and then boxes. All of these lights, they just have a 110 volt plug on them, so we're gonna just be hanging outlet boxes all up in the rafters and then plugging the lights into those. So I'm probably gonna hang the lights first to make sure I like the spacing, and there's gonna be 4 that way and then 4 this way. So I wanna get all the lights hung first and then place the outlets within 5 feet of the lights and get everything all nice and tidy on a string line and looking good. So let's get started. Just hook right into it and hang. 1 done. 7 more to go in here, and then 8 more to go outside. All right, so I've got all of the lights hung in here, out on the covered porch area where the sawmill is going to go, and underneath the lean-to there. I'm gonna have him wire up everything in here that's 16 feet, everything up here that's probably about 20 feet up in the air, and then I want him to coach me through wiring these 4 lights on the back of the lean-to. And this will reach all the way up to the lights up there. Again, we have these separated onto 4 separate switches so I can control how much power I am pulling. So with 4 lights, we are pulling 450 watts, and it says it would run that section of lights for about 2 hours in here. So again, that's why it was important for me to separate it out onto 4 separate switches so I could run these lights for 2 hours. But if I flip everything on, if I had just wired everything on one switch, these lights are very, very bright, but they do pull a decent amount of juice when you start putting 16 of them together. And right now we're pulling 1800 watts, and even at 95% power, so almost a full charge, it would only run the whole building for 30 minutes in here. So that's why it's nice to be able to flick these off. And let's say I'm just gonna be working out here in the sawmill area. I actually had 5 lights put on this strand because the plan is to put log splitters, firewood processors and all that in this area, so I wanted to have that light on the same switch. I mentioned before that these lights are from JC-LGL, which is an LED lighting company. They saw the videos we were putting together on the new pole building and reached out to us and asked if we had any plans to add lighting to the building, and we said yes. So these lights are sponsored, but they speak for themselves. I'm not here to sell you on them. They do what they say they're gonna do. They light up the building, right? The one thing I will say is when I was looking at lights for the building, I've seen some other brands out there that each one of these lights was about $90 to $100 a piece, whereas if you go on JC-LGL's website right now, I'll leave a link in the description below, each one of these lights was somewhere between $40 and $50 per light. So these ones are significantly cheaper or less expensive.
Another thing I forgot to mention while I was filming this is if you reach out to JC-LGL's customer support, they will actually help you determine how many lights you need, what size the lights need to be, and the placement of those lights for optimal lighting conditions. That way you're not getting more lights than you need and wasting power, or worse, you don't have enough lights and you're underlit.
Each one of these lights is 14,000 lumens, and they do have an adjustment setting on them from a high, medium, and low. I've got them set right now to high. I probably won't ever go up there and adjust them to medium or low. I suppose I could if I wanted to conserve even more power, but with 14,000 lumens on each one of these lights, and if we go look at all 16 lights that we have out here, that puts us at roughly getting close to 250,000 lumens out here for this whole pole building, which is a serious amount of lighting that we've got going on. But there's not a dark spot anywhere in under this building. Anyways, guys, the building is now officially ready to move into. We got our lights in, we got our gravel in. There is nothing holding us back now from starting to move the equipment in, and I am really excited to show you the plan I have for how we're going to lay the equipment out for production. Hope you guys will stick around for the next one. Give me a big thumbs up, click that subscribe button, and hope to see you soon.